Hello, hello. Who are we here with?
Hi there, you here with Trinity and Trinity.
We are Sin City Stories, and we're back with another one. For those who don't know, what is it that you do?
Primarily, I do femdom and fetish content.
What do you love most about what you do?
The freedom it brings me is like the biggest thing. Before this, I bounced around from all kinds of jobs. I was working as a housekeeper at a hotel, which shout out to all service people and industry people like that because they are the real MVPs. I couldn't bring myself to keep doing that. When you do this job, you are trading like a 9 to 5 for a 24/7. So I do this all the time. I work all the time. I'm definitely a workaholic, but with that, it gives you freedom. You know, I get to have my own schedule. I get to choose when I take days off. And it's given me financial freedom too. I grew up really poor, like really poor, and no other job opportunity has allowed me to move from Portland, Oregon to here and live my best life.
What was it like growing up in Portland?
I actually grew up in California. I was from NorCal, but I lived in Portland for about 4 or 5 years before I moved here. So I bounced up and down all around the West Coast, and it was great. I loved growing up in NorCal. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. It was beautiful, but you know, you got to move on. Sometimes things change, the world changes, and you want different things for your life. And being here is where I want to be right now, for sure.
That's cool.
What's a femdom relationship like? What are some things that involve that relationship?
So everybody's different. Every sub is different, and I focus a lot on online dynamics, so like virtual relationships. I do some in-person stuff, but it's very selective. I think the biggest things are when you're talking to a new sub, you ask them what their limits are, what their fetishes are, and what their kinks are. You know, some subs are really into some subs are really into SPH or like small humiliation. Some are really into like sensual domination and they want to take a more like soft approach to it. So there's a lot of different styles of it, but ultimately it always comes down to I'm in control, you're beneath me, you're here to obey me, serve me, respect me, and be grateful to do so.
Right. We interview a lot of women that are in the lifestyle 304s. How would you differentiate what you do compared to what they do?
So I would say what I do versus like what 304s do versus what strippers do or porn stars, we're all under the sex work umbrella. We're all using our bodies and our minds to make money off of dudes. Like, let's just be real there. But I would say what I do is different in the sense that I don't have sex with men for money, and no shade to anybody who does that. If that's your bag and that's how you want to hustle, like, more power to you, more respect to you. For me, I recommend this if you're the kind of person who's very bossy and you like to be in control and you have a little bit of like a no shit taking kind of attitude. And I would say it's a lot of fun. Like, I get to be really creative. I get to hear about new fetishes all the time. Like, I've been in this industry, like I said, for over 6 years, and every time I think that I've heard it all, someone will approach me with something that I'm like, oh, I've never heard of that. That's interesting. And I think it's a lot of fun being able to bring people's fantasies to life. And I guess the other thing too is that, like, I know prostitution is legal here in certain counties in Nevada, but it's not legal here in Sin City. Right. What I do is entirely legal. Everything I do is, you know, I pay my taxes, I, you know, have bills. I'm pretty regular when it comes to like my life outside of this, but the legality aspect offers a lot of freedom. I don't have to worry about like looking over my shoulder and wondering if like the popo's gonna roll up.
You're doing this on your own. You're doing this without a man.
I do get help. I have someone who helps me edit and helps me film, but I do a lot of this on my own. Like, I don't have like an agency working for me. I don't have someone running my social medias or answering to like my like loyal fans' messages. Like, that's all me.
Yeah. Do you think men are necessary just in life in general?
Absolutely. I think men are necessary. Even though I'm a dominant woman, men are necessary because they're here to serve me. And I think that men are necessary because, you know, there's balance. There's balance to women, there's balance to men, and without one, you kind of can't have the other. So, but they're necessary, especially to serve.
When you say to serve you, what do you mean by that?
So service and submission can happen in a few different ways. Seeing as how I'm not really like a lifestyle dom, everything comes with a monetary value. Like, this is a capitalist world. I'm here to get paid, so money comes first. But there's different ways that people can serve. They can follow me on my socials. They can subscribe to my loyal fans. They can buy my clips. I have a stable of regulars that kind of rotate in and out that have different fetishes and kinks, and all have different ways that they like to serve me, whether it's worshiping my pictures, listening to my voice. But ultimately, it's the mindset, because like, some people will do like OnlyFans or content creation, and they're there to like please the man, and I want them to be there to please me.
What do you love outside of creating content?
Oh, I love everything. I have a little bit of like an adventure streak. Part of the reason why I call myself Trinity Infinity is because my interests and tastes are just as diverse when it comes to like kink as it is like outside of that. I love hiking. I love nature. I'm a huge film buff. I love movies.
What's your favorite type of movie?
Oh, I'm definitely like a cult classic and like kind of like psychological thriller type. Yeah, I like stuff that like gets your brain going and makes you think like, oh shit, that's some crazy stuff.
Me too. Do you have any favorite psychological thrillers?
I see, this is a tough one. So I usually say favorite directors because there's so many movies that I love, but my top 3 favorite directors would be Stanley Kubrick, Quentin Tarantino, and Paul Thomas Anderson. They all have movies that have been very impactful and that I could watch like over and over again.
Yeah, definitely a few legends in that list.
Yeah.
Really all legends.
Could you be submissive to a man?
Yeah, I've been submissive. I technically would identify as a switch in that I do enjoy taking like the bottom role sometimes and being submissive, but my natural energy is brat. Like, I'm very bratty, and I'm not necessarily like a typical femdom in that regard. Like, I wear a lot of color. I'm very girly and feminine. Like, a lot of female doms tend to have kind of a archetypal look of like wearing a lot of leather and black and looking kind of gothic. So I'm a little more like the girl next door that's gonna dom you and own you. But yeah, I can be submissive in the right mood.
What qualities in a man that could make you submissive? Make you want to be submissive?
It's ultimately, and this is where it comes into kind of like a controversial thing of like, when I am submissive, I top from the bottom. So it's like, if I'm letting you take control of me, it's because I'm letting you take control of me, and I'm in that mood and I want it to happen. I'm definitely not the kind of girl that's immediately gonna like drop to her knees and be like, oh yes daddy, like please, I want to be your good girl. It's like, make me, convince me, and maybe I will.
Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever came across a man that you couldn't dominate?
I think submission is a willful thing. Like, there are a lot of guys who try to like push your buttons or top from the bottom, like I was just saying, where they'll be like, oh, I want you to dominate me, and I want you to do it exactly like this, XYZ. And I understand having like desires and limits, but ultimately, like, you have to want to give it over. I'm not going to make you submit to me. You're gonna willfully hand it over, because that's how it goes. You have to want to be submissive.
Yeah, that's true. So do you have any other like skills, hobbies?
Yeah, when I'm not working, you know, like I said, I like to hike, I like baking, I like cooking. I'm very creative, and I like to do like artsy stuff. But I am a workaholic, and I work like pretty much 24/7.
You know, I noticed the colors and everything like that. That's why I want to know, like, you know, the art thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely creative. I consider myself more artsy than like a full-on artist. There's not like one medium I've mastered, but I do love art and appreciate art for sure.
Oh, that's so cool. So are you into like painting or like?
I appreciate painting. I'm not like much of a painter. I do more stuff that's like projects. Like, I'll do like scrapbooking or like little crafty things here and there. I love interior design, so I'm obsessed with like making my space look a certain way and color matching and stuff like that.
That's cool. What's your favorite color?
Pink. I'm a pink girly for sure.
You got the tattoos and everything too?
Yeah, I've got like a dozen tattoos. They're all pretty small. Oh God, I need a new pedicure. But I got my dog's tattoos on my feet. I got some ankle tattoos. I got my thigh. The rest of them are all on like my back. I got like, let's see here, like the back of my neck, and a bunch of other little ones. So I do have a little bit of the alt vibe. I want more, but I got other priorities and goals I gotta take care of first
very
before more
nice,
ink.
very stylish as well.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any advice for ladies that might want to get into this lifestyle?
Absolutely. So when it comes to doing any online work, you got to accept that it's forever. Like, I've accepted that ever since I put my picture on the internet and put content of me out there on the internet, it's not going anywhere. Like, I could delete all of my socials and all of my accounts and stuff tomorrow, and there will still be pictures and stuff associated with what I do. So you really need to think it through. And while I love what I do, it's not for everybody. It's like any other industry. There are people who will succeed and thrive. There are people who will use this as a side hustle. There are people who will maybe just barely get by. And there are people that will fail. Like, you might try this and you might fail, but you won't know if you don't try. So if you are thinking about this, be willing to put yourself out there into whatever like capacity or fashion that you're comfortable with. Know your limits, and just accept that when you're online, it's forever.
Yes.
So what about from a business end? Because there are some 304s out there that might want to go professional. And so do you have any guidance on how they could go about doing that?
Yeah, so I would say like hustle. It's definitely it's a hustle. Like, when I first started doing this, I was living with a ton of roommates. I was broke. I was in debt. I did not have, a lot going for me, and I worked a lot, like 12, 14, 16-hour days. I sacrificed a lot. I said no to going out a lot and hanging out with friends. I tried doing everything that I could as much as myself, like DIY beauty stuff. I wasn't going to the nail salon, dropping like $200 on nails. I was doing my own nails, doing my own hair, finding things as like cheap as I could. And every year that you go by and you do this, you'll get more experience. You'll be able to reinvest in your business. And that's the other big thing, like reinvest in your business, reinvest in yourself. Focus on taking care of your body, your mind. Like, this job can burn you out because you are working all the time. So
how do you stay motivated during difficult times?
There's a few different things that keep me motivated. I would say, one, the reminder of where I came from. Like I said, I grew up super poor. I was homeless as a teenager for a while, so knowing what it's like to be without keeps me motivated. Like, I have a kitten, so I definitely work for her. I work for my little Mochi all the time. I look at her and I'm like, if I don't want to do this for myself, I have something that depends on me.
The cat's the real dog.
Yeah, she's the real queen of the house and everything. But also, like, focusing on your successes, because like, even when things are rough or things are down, I've accomplished a lot in this industry that I never thought I would have. I was nominated for an ABN award this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was nominated for favorite female indie creator, and that's something that I never thought that I would have accomplished. I've been in multiple Hustler articles. I've done interviews with other magazines. The other thing I would say when it comes to business with this is you have to really be willing to put yourself out there. I would say like 90% of my success has come from me just like reaching out to people and being like, hey, can I work with you? Following people, bugging people in their DMs and being like, hey, I like what you do. Do you want to work with me? The other 10% I would say is some help along the way from people, but I always try to do everything I can myself first.
So establishing connections is very important.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
How do you handle rejection? Say if there was someone that you wanted to work with and they ignored you.
Just move on. I accept that, like, when you reach out as much as I do, because I'm constantly following people, looking for new opportunities. Sometimes they might stick. Sometimes they might start to message me and then nothing comes of it. But the ones that do actually come to fruition, it's almost always been worth it. Like, whether it's modeling opportunities, collaborating with other creators. I put myself out there on Instagram last year and got to be a model for the Nevada Cannabis Awards Music Festival.
Oh, wow.
So really, a lot of it just comes down to being willing to put yourself out there and just keep doing it, keep grinding.
Yes, that's how it was for us when we started. We would like walk the blade and like, just get rejected sometimes, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We kept pushing.
We never got upset at the lady, just like there's another one coming that might want to see what we got going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you have a sort of rags to riches story.
A little bit. I would definitely say I'm a girl who climbed her way out of like a generational poverty life and has built a pretty stable life for me. You know, I'm trying to save up for a home someday. I have goals outside of this. Like someday I would love to maybe have like a cat cafe or an animal rescue because I am very passionate about animals. But ultimately, like, yeah, this is what has given me this life. Like I tried all kinds of jobs. I tried housekeeping, fast food, like nannying, you name it. And I'm just the kind of person that cannot stick with things very well. So even though I say like, oh, you got to stick with it and consistency, it's easier for me to do that when I'm in charge and I have my own flexibility. I don't like answering to people.
At what point did you say, I'm not going to do the job thing and just go 100% this?
So it was in 2018. July of 2018 is when I actually went full-time with this. I had dabbled a bit beforehand and I had made a little bit of money. I had kind of dipped my toe in and out for a few years trying different things. But one day I was at my housekeeping job and I just felt miserable as shit and I didn't want to be there anymore, and I just walked out mid-shift, didn't say anything to anyone, and was like, okay, this has to work now. I'm gonna jump into this like feet first and just hold on and hope that it works. And the amount—
You have money saved up?
No, I didn't have money saved up. I was living with a ton of roommates, so luckily I was in a situation where even though the living situation wasn't necessarily the best, my bills were super cheap. So I made the most of what was not an ideal living situation. And then I started saving and saving and saving and saving. And then I got out and got my own place. And since then, it's been a gradual progression of being in better places and eventually moving here.
Are you spiritual? Or religious?
So I was raised religious. I'm definitely not anymore. I have no qualms with whatever people want to believe, whether they're super religious or not. I would say I'm a little bit spiritual in the sense of like, I don't like to call myself like a full-blown like atheist. I'm a little bit more of like what's called a pantheist, in that like if I were to believe in God, I kind of believe that like we're all God. Like I'm God, you're God, the trees are God, the universe is God. If existence is all connected in some way, then we all kind of have that in us. But ultimately, I don't like confined to like one religion or like spiritual path in that way.
What would you, if you could pick one, what would be your spirit animal?
Oh, I would say a horse. I have a horseshoe tattooed on my neck here, and I relate to wild horses a lot. I actually am a horse girl. I used to work at a rescue horse ranch, and they're some of the most amazing creatures. If you break one, it's one of the most like amazing connections that you can have with an animal. But like wild horses, like they want to be free. They want to be able to do what they want.
Yeah, no animal wants to be in captivity.
No.
But that's cool. Horses. I love to learn how to ride a horse one day. You know, get my cowboy on.
Do it. It's so much fun. It's one of the most like exhilarating experiences I think you can have.
That's cool. I'm definitely gonna look into that.
Do you believe in manifestation?
Yes, absolutely. I was actually looking through some journals from when I first started doing this that had like goals written out that I wanted to accomplish, and I was like, holy shit, I actually accomplished every single one of these. I have
power in writing it down.
Yeah, there's power in writing it down. I have a vision board outside of my like bedroom that has like goals and stuff that I want for my future that I try to look at every morning when I walk out before I have like my coffee and stuff. But I definitely believe there is a mindset thing. Like if you constantly believe that you're gonna fail and that things aren't gonna go well for you, they won't go well for you. Exactly. It's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but if you try and just try to be positive and try to focus on the good things and keep hanging on, like shit can change.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, or where do you want to be 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I would love to be owning my own home. That's definitely one of my main goals. Stability and having somewhere that I can actually like for sure call my own instead of just renting. Maybe adopting another cat at some point. I want to still be doing this. I don't see myself stopping doing this at any time soon. I'm gonna use this like career and life that I have until I absolutely cannot do it anymore. And that's one of the things I love about this world, is that there's so many ways that things can change. Like I said, when I first started doing this, I was almost all phone calls and all phone, and now I do a little bit of everything. I do phone, I do camming, I do customs, I do modeling. So I want to keep experiencing all of that. I want to do more collaborations with other creators. I've got 2 different potential scenes lined up for next month that are going to be female domination oriented. And ultimately just living here and enjoying everything that Vegas has to offer.
You're an awesome person.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome too.
Thank you.
And you know VCQ?
I do. I actually met her at a Loyal Fans event back in September. We had talked a little bit before that, and we were mutuals on socials. And then I saw her at this like billboard launch party that we went to, and we talked. And then afterwards, she gave me a little tour of the green door, so I got to see that and see what that was like, and that was fun. And then I ran into her at ABN too. So yeah, we're cool. Actually, that's how I found your guys' page.
Yeah, she's great.
She's really nice.
She is. She's really nice. She's cool. She's a little bit of a different creator than I am, but I, again, respect all mediums. Like, shout out to all of us, like, sex working ladies, whether you're a stripper, an escort, a star, a femdom like me, a content creator, a phone sex operator, a bottle service girl, like, whatever. If you're using your body to make money and, like, you're getting guys off, you're a sex worker. And that's the other thing too. Everyone wants to say in this industry that we're selling our bodies. You're selling your body no matter what. Like, don't tell me what I'm doing is any less selling my body than like someone who's willing to die for her country, or like fall off of palm trees, or break their backs cleaning beds 15 times a day. Everyone's selling their body in one way or another. You just gotta choose how you do it.
And shout out your Instagram or Cash App or
all of it.
Anything you got for us.
Go down the list.
Okay, so my main website where you're going to be able to find everything is trinityinfinity.com. That's where you're going to find my Loyal Fans. That's where you're going to find my pocket, because I do have one of those too, if you want to get to feel me a little more intimately. Loyalfans.com/trinityinfinity is where you're going to find all of my latest content. Twitter is Trinfinity69, and Instagram is TrinityInfinity69.
All right, Trinity Infinity. Thank you very much for joining Sand City Stories. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You gave a lot of good sound wisdom and advice.
You're gonna help a lot of women out there.
A lot of great things in your future.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to seeing more from you guys too.
Keep manifesting and keep writing things down and making it happen.
Keep believing, keep doing great things. Thank you very much.